Physiology is the study of living things. Now, it's a little bit different than biology because physiology goes a little bit more in depth to the structure and function of living things and how systems work together. For example, how the heart works with the lungs and how the muscles work with the bones. I work for the Human Research Program. The Human Research Program conducts research and develops technologies that allow humans to travel safely and productively in the space environment. When human beings live in space, their bodies change a lot. And the longer they live in space, the more changes occur. One of the ways that doing research in space helps people on Earth is osteoporosis. Osteoporosis is a diseased state of bone in which the bone gets weaker and thus more prone to fracture and breaking. The longer astronauts live in space, the worse the changes are. Bones can lose up to 2% of their density and thus their strength every month that they're in space. There's a misconception that bone is just kind of like dead tissue and it's just hard like wood, but that's not entirely the case. Bone is a living thing. There are cells in our bones that are responsible for producing blood cells, red cells and white cells. The bone provides protection from our inner organs, like our brain. You've got a skull to protect your brain, you've got a rib cage to protect your inner organs. It provides structure so that we can stand and move. Our bones also provide a storage for calcium, magnesium, and phosphorus. These minerals and blood and cells are constantly flowing in and out of the bone. When osteoporosis occurs and the bones get weaker, all of those things are less effective. Now, if we can figure out how to prevent osteoporosis in space, we can apply that knowledge here on the ground. Another effect of living in space is a fluid shift. Our bodies on Earth have evolved and developed systems to keep blood flowing up to our brain. It's very important to keep blood up to our brain, and that's actually quite challenging for our cardiovascular system because it constantly has to fight against gravity. Think about the distance that a single drop of blood has to travel to go from your toe all the way to your head. It's a lot, and it is actually a lot of work to move fluid around your body. When you live in space, and without gravity, it's much easier to move fluid around your body. But your body is going to continuously try to push fluid up to your upper body. The result of living in space and this fluid shift together means that your upper body gets too much fluid. And you can see it in the astronauts' faces. They look a little puffy. NASA has been launching human beings to space for 50 years. And we've learned a lot about what happens to human bodies in space. If astronauts exercise up to 2 hours a day and they eat right, so their nutrition is very carefully monitored, we can prevent a lot of those changes from happening. Now, we can't prevent them entirely, which is why we are still studying these areas of research, but we can help to prevent them and continue to learn about why they're happening.